Hey, what's going on YouTube? 5-minute review here. Today we'll be talking about Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is pretty much the same game as its predecessor, Fallout 4. Of course, there were improvements, and that's what we're going to discuss here today. This is to find out whether you should pick this title up upon release on November 14. Fallout 76, as we all know, is an online multiplayer game with no NPC, as in none, zero. Every other characters you'll meet in the game are other human players. I got the game for Xbox as a code when I bought the limited edition white Xbox One X from EB Games here in Canada. Ever since the beta started, I may have logged about 8 to 10 hours of gameplay, focusing on figuring out how the game works. I have played alone and will be providing you insights whether you should get this game as a solo player. I will tackle 3 points in this review: graphics, gameplay, and story. First off, graphics. I've seen a lot of reviews that say Fallout 76 graphics is trash, and if I'm being honest, compared to current AAA titles of this generation, Fallout 76 isn't going to be the best. What we have to understand here though is that Fallout's appeal never were in the graphics, but its ambience. They were never benchmarks for graphics anyway. Not that they didn't try to improve anything, they did. Take for example the God Rays, they look good in this game. Foliage is so much better too. Texture details though are still mediocre, and the colors are a bit oversaturated, which gives the game an unnatural look. But overall, it's a step forward from Fallout 4, and if that was okay with you, then this is definitely a better looking game than the last one. Next up, gameplay. Again, not much has changed in here. It still feels in place like Fallout 4, except for a few things. VATS is now real time. The way it works is it tries to auto-target your enemy. You can still switch between parts of the enemy you want to shoot, and it gives you a real-time percentage of your possibility to hit them. I've heard from other reviews that when they tried to use VATS, it automatically hits the enemy. That was never the case with my experience, so I rarely used it, and in times that I did, it was totally useless. Map is definitely larger, and I may have tapped about a third of it so far in my gameplay. Everything is pretty much laid out on the map so you know where everything is, unlike in older games where you have to find and discover them. There's still the fast travel option, but it requires caps and will cost more, depends on the distance of your destination. All human players are shown in the map too as small dots so you know where everyone else is. Show their name and their level too. Carrying capacity is still the same, it might be a little better. One of the neat new additions is the camp that you can carry with you and move place anywhere for your convenience. That means you can start building or storing all your junks anywhere. This though requires caps too, and I've never had any issues with caps in the game, so there was no problem with that. One of the most important things for a game too is frames per second, and Fallout 76 at this point in beta is still struggling to maintain 30 FPS in consoles. And I'm using the Xbox One X here. There were instances where in areas with nothing, no players or enemies in it, and I'm just breezing and exploring, FPS drops all of a sudden. It doesn't make sense. Pop-ups are common occurrences too, and they're annoying as hell. I'm hoping there's going to be an improvement upon release in about a week's time, but you know, I doubt it, knowing beta at this point is almost the same as final release product. And on to the story. There is a story, but a half-baked one. Upon exiting the vault, your first quest was to look for the Overseer. You'll then find spots where the Overseer came and made camp. Since there's no NPC in the game, you're left with holotapes and recordings that you try to listen to, and end up not caring about because they're too long. Quests are like this in the game. You find a dead body, you find a holotape, you talk to a robot, find out info from terminals over and over again. It feels empty, it feels dumb, and it gets old quick. I can see this getting updates in the future where new stories and quests comes, but I'm afraid some of those updates may be DLCs that you have to pay for, so nah. There are also events in the game that automatically activates when you reach a certain area. These events are good for getting XP. There's also daily quests and tons of miscellaneous ones that you pick up along the way. Some of them I don't even know how I got. And finally, on to my verdict. Fallout 76 may not be the Fallout game we want, Most of the time, it just feels the same game as Fallout 4, except it's online and empty, with the lack of NPCs. It also lacks the story of the previous game, and honestly, even with the new additions to it, it doesn't warrant a fulfilling experience. I rate games on a very bad, okay, good, and very good basis. This one's an okay game. If you like Fallout and you have friends that will play it with you, this game may totally work out for you. But if you're a solo player, I would say don't get it. If you really like Fallout, still, wait and see what the game has in store in the update after release. After then, it may be worth a second look. At the end of the day, if you're a solo player, we still have mods in Fallout 4, and that's not going away soon. If you like my review and what I did here, please like and subscribe. Again, 5-minute review here. Till the next video.